here to tell you the good news that in 2025, you can actually get a gaming laptop that doesn't completely annihilate your bank account. The budget gaming laptop category has gotten surprisingly good. And in this video, we're going to compare 5 of the best budget gaming laptops you can buy right now for under $1,000. We're going to go roughly from more entry level to the most powerful budget options, but keep in mind that all are surprisingly capable of running AAA games. Let's start with a tried and tested crowd favorite by Acer. The Acer Nitro 5 is basically the entry ticket into serious PC gaming without having to explain a terrifying credit card bill later. Acer has built a reputation for making straightforward gaming machines, and the Nitro 5 sticks to that formula, delivering a premium gaming experience for under $800. Inside, you'll typically find Intel's latest core processors paired with NVIDIA's RTX 4050 or 4060 graphics cards. What that means in the real world is you can comfortably play the biggest titles at 1080p with high settings, and you are not going to be staring at a slideshow. Competitive games like Valorant or Apex Legends run smooth enough to keep you from blaming your laptop when you lose. Where Acer cuts corners is pretty predictable. The display is fine, but not going to blow you away with color accuracy. And the fans have a habit of sounding like they are auditioning for a wind tunnel. It is not unbearable, but if you are gaming in a quiet dorm room, your roommate will definitely know. On the flip side, the keyboard is surprisingly decent, and Acer gives you a good spread of ports, so you are not constantly juggling dongles. And if you want something that is reliable, easy to upgrade later with more memory or storage, and you are fine living with a louder cooling system, the Nitro 5 is a solid starting point. Think of it as the Honda Civic of budget gaming laptops. Not glamorous, but it gets you where you want to go every single time. Next up is the MSI Thin A15, which, as the name suggests, is MSI's attempt at making a budget gaming laptop that does not look like a bulky spaceship. The baseline model is under $800 and has a Ryzen 5 processor paired with NVIDIA's RTX 2050 GPU. This setup is just enough to run AAA games, especially if you are willing to play around with your settings a bit, and of course you can shell out some more money to upgrade the specs. Where the Thin A15 earns its name is in the build. It is lighter and slimmer than a lot of gaming laptops in this price range, which sounds great, until you pick it up and notice it feels a little more fragile than you would like. The chassis has some flex, and while it is fine sitting on a desk, you would not want to toss it carelessly into a backpack every day. This is very much a machine for someone who treats their tech gently. The screen is serviceable, but serviceable is the key word. It is not going to impress you with vibrant colors or deep contrast. If your main concern is watching movies or doing creative color work, this is not the laptop for you. But if your number one goal is stretching every dollar for the most frames, the Thin A15 starts to make a lot of sense. One thing to watch, the GPU power limits can vary depending on which exact configuration you buy. That means 2 laptops with the same name might perform noticeably differently. It is one of those classic budget laptop tricks, so do your homework before clicking buy. Overall, the Thin A15 is the scrappy contender of this lineup. It is not luxurious, it is not flashy, but it will get you into your games without asking for a ton of cash. Just treat it kindly, and maybe do not lean too hard on the lid. Now let's talk about the HP Victus 15, which is kind of the everyday person's gaming laptop. Unlike the angular, aggressive designs you usually see in this category, the Victus looks almost normal. You could easily take it to class, a coffee shop, or even a meeting without everyone immediately pegging you as the person who yells into a headset at 2 a.m. Performance-wise, HP usually equips the Victus 15 with the RTX 3050, and when paired with a 144Hz screen option, it handles popular titles like Fortnite, Apex, or Call of Duty very smoothly. It is also capable of running heavier games at 1080p with settings turned up, though you might occasionally need to dial things back to keep frame rates consistent. It also comes with a roomy 1TB SSD. Where the Victus shines is balance. The keyboard is comfortable, the thermals are controlled enough that it will not roast your lap, and it has just enough design restraint to be used as a day-to-day laptop. It makes a lot of sense for students or anyone who wants one machine for school, work, and gaming without screaming "gamer" every time you open the lid. But of course, at this price point, compromises exist. The chassis is mostly plastic, so there is some flex if you press down too hard, and the hinge is not the sturdiest. It is fine for normal use, but if you tend to be rough with your gear, you will notice it. Battery life is also just okay. This is not a laptop you're going to leave unplugged all day. The best part, though, is value. The Victus 15 goes on sale constantly, and when you find the right discount, it becomes one of the smartest buys in the budget category. At full retail, it can feel a bit underwhelming, but on sale, it punches well above its weight. In short, the HP Victus 15 is the budget gaming laptop for people who want something versatile, practical, and not too flashy. A gaming laptop you could still write essays on without feeling out of place. Now moving over to an offering by Asus that has won over many users and gets a lot of love on internet forums. While the 2F F16 is available at budget prices, it really almost feels like it could be in the premium category. The moment you open it, this 16-inch screen in that taller 16:10 aspect ratio makes everything feel a little more modern and roomy. And when you are juggling both gaming and school or work tasks, that extra vertical space really does help. Under the hood, you are getting solid silicon options with RTX 40 series graphics paired with capable Intel or AMD processors. But what makes the F16 stand out in this price range is how Asus handles the details. It has a MUX switch, which basically lets the GPU talk directly to the display for better gaming performance, and its dual fan cooling setup actually does a respectable job keeping heat under control. In budget gaming laptops, thermals are often the first thing to go wrong, so this is a big deal. Battery life is also a notch better than what you usually see here. Do not get me wrong, this is still a gaming laptop, not an ultrabook, but you can squeeze a few hours of productivity use without being tethered to the wall. That makes it feel like a more versatile everyday machine compared to some of the noisier, thirstier competitors. Of course, it is not without trade-offs. The design is still largely plastic, so while it looks rugged, it is more military chic than actual armor plating. And like a lot of budget machines, the display quality depends heavily on which configuration you pick. Some panels are bright and smooth with high refresh rates, others feel a bit dimmer and less exciting. So again, check the specs on the exact model before pulling the trigger. Overall, the TUF F16 is the most well-rounded choice of this lineup. Not the cheapest, not the flashiest, but the one that feels designed to last a little longer. If you are someone who wants good thermals, a bigger screen, and an all-around balanced package, this is the one to keep on your shortlist. Finally, let's round things out with the MSI Katana A15. If the thin A15 we looked at earlier was about squeezing into the lowest possible price tag, the Katana A15 is its bigger, stronger sibling that has won a lot of gamers even from higher price brackets. The Katana usually comes with NVIDIA's RTX 4060 or similar mid-range graphics, and that means it hits hard for 1080p gaming. It also has 32 gigabytes of RAM and a roomy 1TB SD. You can comfortably crank settings up in most modern titles and in some cases even dabble in 1440p if you spring for the better display option. It also has one of the more upgrade-friendly designs in this group, with open slots for memory and storage, which is great if you want to stretch its lifespan a few more years. Cooling isn't an afterthought either. MSI's Cooler Boost 5 system uses a pair of fans and an array of heat pipes to pull heat away from both the CPU and GPU, which means the Katana can hold higher frame rates during long gaming sessions without throttling. The newer AI additions go a step further with built-in neural processing units. These chips, combined with MSI's own AI engine, can automatically tune performance, fan speeds, and power draw depending on whether you're gaming, streaming, or just browsing. In practice, that means you get stronger bursts of power when you need them and quieter, more efficient operation when you don't. Plus, with the added MUX switch, the discrete GPU can drive the display directly for lower latency and even more consistent frame rates. Where it shows its budget DNA is in the screen quality. Some configurations use slower full high-definition panels with lackluster brightness and response times. If you are sensitive to ghosting or you care about rich visuals, you will definitely want to choose the higher tier panel upgrade, and like most laptops in this class, the chassis is plastic, so you will not mistake it for a premium unibody machine. But in terms of raw gaming power per dollar, the Katana A15 is one of, if not the strongest contender in the budget arena. It is not subtle, it is not light, but it is a workhorse. If your main goal is to get the most frames for your money, and you are willing to be picky about which version you buy, the Katana will give you the muscle you are looking for. If you found this video useful, give it a like, it really helps the channel out. And if you want more straight to the point tech reviews, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.